Hi, I'm Andre and I'm a black nerd with a review for You Better Reviews. So if you remember back in 2015, Star Wars The Force Awakens came out in theaters, and to be counter-programming against that movie, 20th Century Fox put out Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Road Chip. I did a regular review for The Force Awakens, and then I did I just gotta tell you all about this movie type of review for The Road Chip. So here we are in 2017, and I'm doing it again. Star Wars Last Jedi came out, and counter-programming against that movie, 20th Century Fox put out Ferdinand, and I thought this was gonna be your typical Blue Sky Studios Ice Age type movie. And this movie found some ways to be pretty much like your standard animated family film, but just every once in a while doing something to make me go, wait, what? Did that just happen? Did we just see that happen? I wish I had a rewind button in the theater. Like, I wish I was DVRing in this movie so I could go back and be like, did I just see or hear what I just thought I saw or heard? So just like The Road Chip, I'm gonna break down this movie. So there will be spoilers in case you don't want to be spoiled on Ferdinand. This is gonna be a whole in-depth deep dive about Ferdinand. Probably more deep diving than this than I did with The Last Jedi. And that's fine with me. And if you like that sort of thing, please click that subscribe button. So the interesting thing about Ferdinand is it's based on a storybook years ago, decades ago. Disney has a 7-minute animated short on the Ferdinand story, and now Fox is doing a full Ferdinand movie. Was that part of the Disney Fox deal? Did Disney come into Fox and say, hey, we want the X-Men, we want the Fantastic Four, we want your entire entertainment division, and Fox was like, sure, just give us billions of dollars and Ferdinand. Disney was in their huddle like, we're doing anything for Ferdinand? When we got short, we're gonna reboot him, we're gonna do a live action Ferdinand movie? Okay. We were gonna have Jon Favreau make a Ferdinand movie, but you know what, Fox? You got a deal. Fantastic Four for the bull who smells flowers. Business. So the movie starts off with little tiny kid Ferdinand who lives with his dad in this bull pit with all these other bulls and their kids. And all the big adult bulls want to do is be chosen as the bull to go up against the matador in the big bull fight in Madrid. Ferdinand just wants to sit down and smell the flowers. This, of course, gets him bullied by the other kids. You know what? It's sad that I made that bully joke, and I don't think the movie ever did. So that makes me worse than the movie. Whatever, I'll accept it. His dad is obviously the prime choice to be taken away to become the bull to fight against the matador. This, of course, makes one of the other bulls mad, which then makes his son mad, which then makes his son bully Ferdinand even more, even step on one of his flowers. Like, there's a nice close-up of the flower that Ferdinand looks at, and his little bull just goes, slam! Yo, flowers! Ferdinand is waiting for the day when his dad returns home from the bullfight. The truck returns. There's no bull inside. If you don't come back, you obviously lost. And if you lost in bullfighting, so yeah, basically Ferdinand's dad is dead because it's a family animated film, so of course you gotta kill some parents. Ferdinand freaks out, he runs away, he jumps on a train and ends up in this beautiful field where he meets this father and daughter. There's no mother because it's a family animated film, so you gotta kill some parents. The daughter Nina takes a liking to baby Ferdinand and brings him in, and we get this nice little montage of them living together, and it's a very sweet sequence, but there's just one thing. Nina keeps calling him Ferdinand. Now remember, Ferdinand was living on a field with other bulls, ran away, and found this family who has never met him before. How did they know his name was Ferdinand? He never talks to people. Like, the bulls and all the different animals talk to each other, but they never talk to the humans. So how did this girl know that his name was Ferdinand? Does she have some mind-melding, read bulls' mind powers, where she was like, oh, I know this dude named Ferdinand. I got it. Ferdinand grows up and the family keeps him, even though he's this giant bull that's like eating them out of house and home. They don't look like they're a very rich family. So it's weird that they keep this bull around that's pretty much eating all their food. They must grow a lot of carrots. And every year, Juan and Nina, the father and daughter, always go to this flower festival. So it's the perfect place for Ferdinand to be because he loves smelling them flowers. I mean, he really loves smelling them flowers. Like, it's almost kind of like a high for him. When they ever show Ferdinand in this movie smelling flowers, not like, oh, that's a beautiful flower. He's always like, oh, yeah. And I'm just like, dude, what kind of flowers you sniffing? Ferdinand's all like, it's 420. Oh, yeah, let's go to White Castle. John Cena as a bull is very entertaining. He just brings this kind of heartwarming charm to Ferdinand. He just does a really good job throughout the whole thing. John Cena, man, he just keeps popping in these movies where he's just a highlight. He's getting that rock money territory right now where he's like, I'm gonna be this former wrestler that now is gonna go out here and do all these movies. dude, we gotta have a Rock John Cena team-up movie. Like, if they can do a buddy comedy together, throw a little Kevin Hart in that, gold right there. Somebody needs to work on that immediately. There's also this dog that lives on the farm with them because you need a dog there to be jealous of Ferdinand because Nina's befriending this giant bull more than her dog. Gee, I wonder if they'll ever become friends at the end of this thing. Oh, it's suspenseful. But once Ferdinand becomes giant bull size, it becomes a problem because he still wants to frolic around like he was that kid bull, but obviously now that he's bigger, he's just breaking everything. Juan, the father, is like, hey, Nina, I know you love your bull, but this year he can't go to the flower festival. They're not gonna take too kindly to this giant bull walking around. But of course, Ferdinand sneaks off, goes to the flower festival, and there's actually some funny jokes in this part because all these people keep walking into this bull, and of course he's just like, I'm Ferdinand, what's the big deal? I'm just a bull walking around, want to check out some flowers. But he walks by some nuns, and of course they do that whole thing. My favorite is there's a guy that walks out of his house, and Ferdinand's like right there, and he just kind of goes, nope, and just closes the door and goes back inside. Just is like, not today. That's how I need to be about with life. Like every time I walk out and I see like somebody bothering me or some dumb tweets or some bad news story, I should just be like, nope, back to my own life. But other than the few people that see him, Ferdinand's usually in hiding, able to enjoy the flower festival, getting high on them flowers again. Oh, that's some good stuff. Anybody got any Funyuns? And yes, there's plenty of times where Ferdinand is hiding in plain sight and nobody sees him. And I get the irony that Ferdinand is voiced by John Cena and no one can see Ferdinand. His time is now. Ferdinand! Oh! What else is at the flower festival? Bees! He makes a mistake of where he sits on top of this bee, and that bee was like, I got your ass. Literally. Ga-da-ding! So he's like running around, going crazy, breaking everything. Everyone's all like, mad bull, mad bull. And then there's even a point where there's baby endangerment. There's a baby carriage that gets stuck on one of his horns, and he's like flipping around. The baby's like flipping around in the air, and this baby is close to death multiple times. What is this, an animated movie or a YouTube family vlog? Watch my baby get endangered by the bull. The views, baby, the views. Ferdinand, of course, gets captured, gets taken away from Nina. Nina, Ferdinand. So I'm thinking at this point they're gonna take him to the actual bullfight. No. They take him back to the exact same place where all the other bulls were, where his dad was. He goes back to that place. We just went right back to start. So what was the whole point of the first 15 minutes of this movie? Like literally all of that could have not happened. You could have just had Ferdinand grow up in the same spot and still have the same story, but somehow we had to sidetrack to meet a family. Or why not just start the movie with him living with the family? That way when he was taken away to the bull ranch, his stories about him being the greatest bull would have carried along with them. They would have praised him at the beginning and then realized later that he's a bull that likes to sniff flowers. That would also make sense. The guy that owns the place doesn't even recognize the fact that it's the same bull that ran away years ago. All the bulls are now all adults and they're all getting ready to be that next bull to go off into the bullfight. All these bulls have names, but I'm just gonna call them by the actors that voiced them. You've got Bobby Cannavale bull, so guess what? He's the bull that's kind of mean to Ferdinand. Big surprise. You got Anthony Anderson bull, so you know how that's gonna go. David Tennant as a bull, who's a Scottish bull named Angus. Literally the entire time that he's talking, I'm just like, is Scrooge McDuck gonna show up in this movie? Because I keep hearing him. Life is like a hurricane here in Bullburg. And then there's a bull that's voiced by Peyton Manning. I'm not kidding, Peyton Manning is a bull. And you know what the sad thing is? Of all the different actors who are voicing all these different animals in this movie, I actually like Peyton Manning bull because he's this bull that has anxiety. Like every time he's getting ready to try to prove himself to be a good fighter for a bullfight, someone gets in his head about something and he'll either throw up or he'll freak out. He's actually a bull that has a little bit of an arc. And then there's a bull that doesn't speak. He was supposedly made in a lab. He's like the freaking Jurassic World of bulls, like the Indominus Rex of bulls, and he feels no pain. And there's a point where he even eats an electrical wire, so now he's like an electric bull. Like, we get into Gremlins 2 territory. There's even a point where like a fly flies in his eye and he just goes and like breaks the fly in half. He's a freaking Terminator bull. Oh, and Kate McKinnon is in this as a goat. So you pretty much can figure out how that's gonna go. I love Kate McKinnon and she's funny. It's just one of those things where it's Kate McKinnon as a goat. Like if I tell you there's an animated movie out there and you ask me about the characters in this movie and I go, Kate McKinnon is in it as a goat, you're gonna be like, I know exactly how that character's gonna be. Thank you very much. This is a movie from the people who gave you Ice Age, so therefore there's gotta be a bajillion other animals in this movie as sidekicks. First off, we get 3 hedgehogs, 2 brothers, 1 sister. One of them is blue, and they roll around in a circle to get from point A to point B. Holy crap. Ferdinand just stuck a Sonic Underground movie inside this movie. 2 guys, 1 girl, brothers and sister, one is a blue hedgehog, they roll around. This is Sonic Underground! Sonic Underground the movie. Let's get the petition started. Their names are Uno, Dos, and Cuatro, and what I love is whenever someone asks them, well, what happened to Trace? They just go, we do not speak of Trace. It's just like, wait, what? I'm just gonna assume that Trace is Shadow or Silver. I'm sorry, you're not Uno, Dos, and Cuatro. You are Sonic, Manic, and Sonia. They're voiced by Jade the Virgin, guy from Hamilton, and Fluffy. But they all should have been voiced by Jaleel White. 3 hedgehogs in one movie, not voiced by Jaleel White? That's no good. Come on, Ferdinand, let's get some chili dogs. Oh, and the hedgehogs dance the Macarena. Cause you know, the Macarena's still cool and current and hip and stuff, right? I guess cause they're in Spain, they just were like, sure, we'll use Macarena in this. What, was Rico Suave not available? But that's not all. There's also a bunny that almost dies in this movie because the bulls keep running over him, so they have to keep giving him CPR with their little hooves. They're like, ooh, 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 ooh. And that's not all. You also get 3 German horses for some reason. Literally, for no reason. Yeah, they live in the place next door and they have their fence and they're like, oh, the Gallibus, they cannot come over the fence because this is the fence for the beautiful horses, yes. And you get all your Nine and Schnitzel and all that stuff. Haagen-Dazs. And you know who's voicing Flula Borg? GJ Flula. That just made me laugh because in 2015 when I reviewed Alvin the Chipmunks The Road Chip, who showed up randomly in that? Flula did. So Flula is the connection. If you got a Star Wars movie, you gotta have a counter-programmed Fox movie and it has to have Flula in it. Remember this when episode 9 comes out, Fox. You can't break tradition. Also, Boris Kodjoe is one of the voices of the horses, which that was surprising to me. I mean, this incredibly sexy, makes me feel inferior man is now voicing a German horse. And they do all these jokes, the crazy bull is not as cool as the wonderful horses. But then they're like panning out from the horses and they're still doing their jokes. And there's one joke they throw in right before they cut to the next scene. The horses are walking away, they're like, oh, the crazy bull. And then one of them goes, yes, I bet his parents aren't even related. Next scene, wait. Hold up a second, rewind this movie. Did that horse just say, I bet his parents aren't even related? Ferdinand, rated PG for your kids and your families. Bulls versus these horses. What is the best way for them to handle out their grievances? With a dance battle, of course. All of a sudden, in the random middle of this movie, we get a dance fight between the horses and the bulls. Horses dancing in unison. They're making all these poses, like 2 of the horse heads will come together like a heart, and the 3rd horse head will pop out of it and give like a wink. They'll have one time where the horse is standing up and all the other horse legs are coming out. Anthony Anderson bull starts breakdancing and spinning around and stuff. The horses dab. Yes, the horses do this little thing and then they ended off with a boom. Since that Terminator bull was born in the lab, he's very robot-like. They break down, drop the bass, and he's all like dubstepping, and then he even turns around and twerks. There's bull twerking in this. Bull twerk. That's my new curse word. This is some bull twerk. And I laughed the entire time. I'm like, I know this is a very blatant dance battle, but dang it if it did not crack me up. It's like the Uptown Funk thing in Road Chip. Like, it's a thing that I think I would not like, and I ended up liking it. This is your Uptown Monk moment, Ferdinand, this dance battle, because it literally comes out of nowhere. They're like, Ferdinand can dance. Oh, he can dance, can he? Dance off. And then it just happens. This movie, man. Oh wait, there's a plot to this movie, isn't there? So eventually a matador, El Primero, shows up. He's about to do his last bullfight before he retires, so he needs the greatest bull. And El Primero has one of the best lines in the entire movie. When he doesn't like the bulls that he's seeing, the bull owner says to him, I don't mean to disappoint you, El Primero. And then El Primero looks at him and he just goes, and yet, here I am, disappointed. And the animation on El Primero is excellent because he always moves like this. So Peyton Manning bull, he's all getting scared. They put him in a truck and he's like, hey guys, look at this. I got chosen. I'm the one that's chosen. The other bulls are like, how did they choose him? He's like, yep, I'm going off to the bullfight. And they close that door and you see that he ain't going to the bullfight. They got that little outline of the bull on the door. Section 1, Section 2, Section 3 on the bull outlined out. Oh yeah, buddy. They're taking him to the slaughterhouse. And it comes out of nowhere. You're like, oh shoot, this movie just got dark. And you're thinking it's gonna just drive away. No, the slaughterhouse is literally on the hill beside the freaking bull place. Oh, you're going to the slaughterhouse. Yeah, and there it is. And it's all grayed out. There's like a dark cloud over it. Everything else is bright except for this one slaughterhouse. But I love this literally like right next door. Like I thought he was just gonna go away for miles and it's like, wow, that's the end of that character. Nah, he's just right over there. I want y'all to see it. I want you to see that slaughterhouse. That's your future. When freaking Peyton Manning Bull goes off to the slaughterhouse, we find out that he was really good friends with Anthony Anderson Bull. Anthony Anderson Bull starts to cry like crazy, and Ferdinand, of course, notices it. He's all like, shut up, there's just something in my eye, you know, the allergies, pollens, or whatever. And they have like this very sentimental talk where he's just like, hey, I get it. You lost your friend. This is all dangerous for us. We don't know what's going to happen. I think there's more for us out there, but we just have to be strong. And if you ever want to talk, I'm here for you. And I'm just like, dang, this movie just had like a sentimental moment. Just, wow. You know, didn't think after the twerking bull we could actually have some heart in this film. So Ferdinand, with the help of the hedgehogs, do a little dance to distract everybody. Unos, dos, tres, cuatro, dumba. Oh yes, I forgot to mention that. There's like 3, 4, 5, 15 Pitbull songs in this entire movie. Ferdinand sneaks into the house and he gets a startling discovery. He sees a room that's just filled with bull horns mounted on walls, and it becomes clear to him that not only did his dad not win the bullfight, but no bull has ever won the bullfight. They all lose and they all get their horns scalped and put on the wall. Ferdinand, you and your bulls have been in the sucking place this entire time. So Ferdinand tries to tell everybody we gotta get out of here, but of course Bobby Cannavale Bull is like, I don't believe you, forces him to fight, and through a bunch of mishaps, Bobby Cannavale's horn breaks. So now he's got one horn. You can't bullfight with one horn, so you know what that means. Clank, back to the slaughterhouse. So Ferdinand's like, y'all, we gotta get out of here. Everybody gotta go. So Ferdinand gets all the other bulls out of the place. He goes to the slaughterhouse, rescues the bulls that were taken to the slaughterhouse, comes back down, takes a truck, and drives off. Okay, you probably thought you missed something there. Let me repeat that. Ferdinand gets all the bulls out of the place, goes up to the slaughterhouse, rescues the bulls that were taken to the slaughterhouse, comes back down with them, puts them all in the truck, and drives off with all the bulls and the hedgehogs and the goat and that little bunny rabbit that they keep almost killing. Didn't this happen in Finding Dory? So now we get a car chase with bulls. The bulls are like driving down the highway. People are driving and they look over and they're just like, what the hell? And then they get off of the car and they get on a bus. They even hook themselves up to a train to get one of those little carts. But since they're almost about to be caught, of course, Ferdinand sacrifices himself, lets the others get away by having himself get caught, so that everyone else will be free. So they take Ferdinand back to Madrid, take him to the ring for the bullfight, and we finally get what you actually know about the story. After about an hour and 20 minutes of random other stuff, they're like, oh wait, this is based on a book. We should probably get the book, read it real quick, and go, oh yeah, I think we gotta put this in the movie. And Ferdinand, of course, does not want to fight. It's just like the original Disney short. The only thing this time they added was cattle prods. So when Ferdinand does not want to fight, they have people coming out like poking him like, you gon' fight, you gon' fight. And of course it leads to some craziness, like the red sheep ends up on one of them and like they're trying to grab it and it ends up missing it and everyone's all like, yay, this is fun. But eventually that matador pulls out a sword and is like, look, if you don't fight, I'm just gonna slice you up right now. And Ferdinand just looks at him and he just sits down. He sits down in protest. I wonder what Fox News or Papa John's will think about this scene. So once Ferdinand sits down and it's very obvious that he's not gonna fight, all the audience, the whole crowd just starts going, let him live, let him go, he's cool, he's all right with me. Wait a second. You all came here to see a bullfight, to see a bull pretty much get destroyed, and now because he sat down, you're just all like, let him live. And of course, Nina's father sees his bullfight on TV, grabs Nina, goes down to the bullfight. Nina runs into the middle of the ring and hugs Ferdinand. They've reunited. Nobody questions this. And they all live happily ever after with all of the bulls living with Nina and her father. Again, I feel like they're a pretty poor family that's now gonna have to take care of like a bunch of bulls, as well as some hedgehogs and a goat and the dog they already own and this little rabbit that still made it to the end of the movie. The only animals they didn't take were the 3 horses. They're still back at the ranch. We did not get to live with the girl in the mountain. So that's Ferdinand, dude. Go see it. I have more fun talking about this than Last Jedi, I swear. Oh, dude, it's just, this movie, it could have just played the basic notes that you would play in these types of movies. And for most of the movie, it does. But when it has those moments where they're just like, we're just gonna go off the rails with this thing, it does not have any problem just doing it. A weird dance battle, bulls driving cars. Who's gonna question it if you got the other stuff in there? Definitely a far departure from the original story, from the original book, but what the hey. Ferdinand. Do you have any intentions of wanting to see Ferdinand now that I've talked about it? If you did see it, let me know what you think about it. And if there's any other movie that you want me to road chip style talk about like this, please suggest it. I want more crazy movies like this in my life. Thank you all for letting me have fun with movies, because that's what it's supposed to be all about. Having fun with movies. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button and also ring that bell to be notified of future videos I make. Be part of the squad by the bell. I love you like a play cousin. I'm out here 5,000. This is a bull twerk.